and that you cannot question or query. Sometimes during such challenges, to wield the crook and flail to exert one's own spiritual authority requires that you stand your ground and remain true to your knowing. This is not about achieving a certain outcome or attempting to control something or someone, or even forcing things to be as you wish they could be. Standing your ground means always telling yourself the truth and not selling out or giving away something that has genuine spiritual truth and meaning for you. It is not about making another see things the same way as you do. It is about honoring your own truth, and if your truth is wise enough to include compassion, then honoring the other, even when the other disagrees with you or seeks to harm you out of their fear. You do not have to challenge another in order to honor your truth or your inner authority. If you feel that another has to agree with you in order for your authority to be intact, then it isn't genuine inner authority at all. The fact that you don't need to have the agreement of others in order to live an empowered life can be a liberating realization in itself. Yet there are times when life can feel like an assault against your truth, and many may challenge you. For those souls who have come to master spiritual authority this lifetime, there is a test: to remain true without becoming dogmatic, to honor what you know is true without minimizing, judging, or dismissing the truths of another that may be different to yours, but just as true for them. You have the power to create your own reality and don't need permission from anyone else to do it. Honor your spiritual sovereignty. Let the Lady Isis help you find your spiritual authority and help you with your freedom of choice now. If you have pulled, I'm not going to read this part because it's like we didn't pull that card. Let's see. You are guided to exercise care and discernment about any issue that feels like it is compromising your sense of self and personal power in such relationships, which I feel Sarah just went through that. That issue is a soul, that issue is a soul healing trying to happen. Do you kind of see that now, Sarah, that relationship was to actually pull to the surface the soul healing trying to happen?
Oh, yeah, I felt it the entire time. There was always stuff coming up between us that were like, oh, there's another thing that I had buried or triggered.
That's awesome, though. I'm really proud of your awareness because it all comes down to that. That's what's helping you shift through it. So you're shifting through this so gracefully this time around because of that awareness, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep, it's been a lot. Easier maybe isn't the right word, but more like empowered, it makes more sense. There's more clarity around it this time than other breakups that I've had.
Awesome. Okay, the last part of this message says look within to see if you can grow through this in some way. There is much self-confidence trying to emerge from within you. Seeking to hand over any responsibility for your own well-being to another can be a tricky and ultimately self-destructive path. Even though it may seem to start off as a relief of stress about some concern or another, this card also guides you to take responsibility for your health into your own hands. Advice from health professionals, doctors can be helpful and sometimes can be mistaken. It is up to you to decide for yourself how you wish to work with your body. Don't be scared. Listen to the advice given by other professionals, but remember, your life is your spiritual gift. Don't be afraid to live it in your own way. And then the little meditation part that it offers is to find a peaceful place where you can sit comfortably without being disturbed. Close your eyes and imagine that you can start with that awareness at your heart, and it can travel down through your body, touching your navel with light, all the way down through your feet until it forms roots into the earth. Allow these roots of light to travel up through your body to your heart and then to your throat chakra. Imagine the light growing in your throat and gently expanding out in all directions, creating an aura of light around you. Say, internally or aloud, I now choose of my own free will to honor my authority, responsibility, freedom, and strength. I now choose to take back my power and my authority. I respect myself, I honor my power, and I allow myself to have full spiritual authority in all areas of my life.
I like that. Oh, hello?
Something happened to her internet, and it Oh, it disconnected. Oh no, hold on, Sarah. So, did you follow that link? Did you see the link I sent you?
Yeah, I didn't see it until I'd already logged on to my other computer, though. So
All right, so just copy it, so that
okay,
you would have
fine
it.
on my computer, so that's fine. But next time I'll keep that in mind.
What's that?
There you are.
Did you lose me for a sec?
Oh, we lost you. You're still not there.
Oh, hold on. Well, I saw my picture.
Oops.
Am I back?
Now you're back.
Okay, so how much of that did she hear? Where did you last hear me talking?
I think it went to the end of the meditation. I thought I heard most of it. It sounded like it was done, but then it just went silent after that.
Okay. Well, basically, you got the gist of it. Like, you're claiming back your power, calling back all that energy, and breaking any vows or contracts that you made with others. And then the last part of it's got an incantation, and it says, you can say this to break any vow of this or another lifetime. You will sense those past vows as an inner block or drain that can keep you captive to a relationship or relationship patterns that you know no longer serve you, but you cannot seem to break through, as though you are somehow tied to it beyond your conscious will. You can say it at any time you feel confused, you are seeking permission for how you live your life, or that you need to call back your power. And this is the little incantation that they have. It says, crook and flail, flail and crook, I now declare with intention clear, I am a sovereign being of love divine. I call back my full power complete. I break all vows of giving away my authority. I release the lie that my authority may be taken from me. I surrender only to the light of my own divine essence. I now declare with intention clear, I am a sovereign being of love divine. So kind of cool, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's power, reclaiming your power time, like that 80s song, I got the power, you pulling it back.
Yep. It is that time.
Yes. Yes, and this has been a long journey for some of us. Like Sarah and I were talking about this earlier because we both have done work together and we understand the past life aspect of this stuff. And in my own movie, I was telling her recently, like, I wrote a letter to my family because I was finding out that there was all this gossip and lies being spread around about me and leaving my ex-husband. And I was just kind of like, what the heck? And I told her, when I went in there and I wrote this letter to my family, which I haven't sent yet, I'm still kind of processing exactly when I'll be ready to send it. But what was important was not so much the letter for anybody else's opinion. And I said that in there. I was like, this letter I am writing is to claim my own power and to speak my version of this truth. And if you guys want to listen, you will. And if not, that's fine. But I'm really not doing it to influence their decision or direction. I'm doing it to speak my truth and to empower myself. And at another level, it was to be a messenger of things that I've observed in that dysfunctional family dynamic that I feel are enslaving many in the family. And I was the one that dared to break free of it. And sometimes some of you guys watching, you might relate to my soul more, or you might relate to the souls that are still huddled together in the dysfunctional family dynamic. But what's important is that we all start to question and look into these dynamics and see if what we're creating is healthy. And if it's not, then why are we creating it? And so some of us might look like we're more, powerful or protected because we huddle in masses in little groups, but it doesn't mean that they're aligned. And then sometimes the souls that are breaking free of those groups, they may be judged and shamed and called names, but it doesn't mean they're crazy, and it doesn't mean that they're wrong. They may actually be showing you all the way to rise. And so I really feel that in my own personal movie, I've had to be a warrior many times in how I handle situations, but I found that what matters always is when I speak my truth. It doesn't matter if other people even change. They may totally stay exactly the way they are, and maybe for lifetimes they're going to stay in that. Sarah and I kind of were talking about the pattern with people, And some people may have a ways to go before they're really ready to shift, but we are supposed to be responsibility for ourselves right now. And so taking that power back for yourself, speaking your truth for yourself, that's what's going to make you happy and peaceful. And it's going to help you live an empowered life compared to if you're just always biting your tongue, you're always enabling behavior, and you never feel like you have a right to speak your truth. I personally feel that is what creates some of the deepest anxiety in people, is failing to actually claim their power. What do you think about that, Sarah?
Yeah,
Is she still there?
I definitely have. Yeah, I've seen a lot of evidence of that, like in my own life and in close friends who's around me. It seems like we seem to be mirroring similar things to each other, but as like hard as speaking truth can be. My friend actually just did this the other night, and she came home and she was like, it was so heart-wrenching, but at the same time, there's like always this underlying sense of peace that comes with speaking your truth. You're like, I mean, it really does bring out like that highest self of you, and so it is a courageous thing because you do have to be prepared for the emotions that come, but then like being able to feel those emotions and process those emotions instead of stuffing them away and pretending like they're not there. Like that's true strength, and you feel that power. I mean, it really is in your whole being. You can feel that. So it's scary sometimes, but it's always worth it. And yeah, you just kind of have to be prepared for what can leave to your life, because, you know, in a lot of cases, you kind of know when someone's not going to stick around. You can kind of feel that intuition. And with my boyfriend, I kind of knew that if I really stood up for what I wanted, he'd be gone. And that's why I didn't do it sooner. I needed to be ready to really let him go. But when you know that kind of thing, that's a big sign that maybe it's time to say something.
Yeah, and what I'm witnessing with you personally is like the times where I've seen you the most confused and disrupted and just upset and just not feeling empowered, Sarah, has been when you were just following along with the other person's plan and kind of denying a lot of who you really were, hoping they would just eventually accept you for who you were. And I feel like that's such a suffering path. And like I was telling Sarah, you know, she was in this for 5 months and she was like, it was a long time to go through that, but I, you know, figured it out. And I'm like, girl, I was in that shit for 23 years, you know? And so we don't have to stay that long, but really we stay and we learn from whatever we're doing, whether we're there 5 months, 5 years. What matters is that you get to that place where you realize that it feels so uncomfortable to be around people. And Sarah and I were kind of talking about how when you're with people that don't really honor you for who you are, a lot of times they will project this sense of weakness upon you as if you're a weak person because you actually are emotional or you feel or you're intuitive or sensitive. And what we both have learned, because we were talking about this on our walk today, is that it's actually strength. It takes huge courage to be vulnerable and a huge courage to really speak the truth, not really with any care of what may be the consequence, but just to know that that truth matters so much to say. And there's going to be times that people really will leave your movie because you stand your ground on something. Think of someone like coming out about being gay, and then all of a sudden their friend list shrinks quite a bit because all these other people think that's a sin and it's evil, and so now they don't like them. But think of the freedom for that human to actually just be truthful in their life for the first time. And what's beautiful is you may drop some of those misaligned friends from your life, but you're creating space for more genuine relationships to come in of people who truly do accept you for who you are. You know, don't go like the irony is my grandma has this saying, which my grandma's the one that's really out of alignment right now in a lot of situations, but my brother said this the other day that she told him, you know, don't go where you're tolerated, go where you're celebrated. And I totally agree with that. But there are going to be times if we're around people that just are tolerating us, but they're kind of projecting weakness and shame on us. Like Sarah discovered herself and I discovered in my marriage, it takes a toll on you. It starts to really wear you down and you start to say you're confused because we're not confused. I really believe in my soul, none of us are confused, but we say we are when we stay in those relationships too long and we start to believe their false projections over our own inner truth.